What does it mean to lose a star in a strange place? Is it a time when someone also lost its direction? A flaming passion burned and died? Francisco Manquico Icasiano is a Filipino author who used comedic style in doing his writings. However, met an unfortunate event which turned his writings into ruminating ones. In this film, the following objectives must be attained. First, identify the elements of the literary piece. Second, demonstrate critical thinking in understanding the depth of Philippine literature, specifically the short story titled Sonia. Third, relate the short story to your personal experiences. And lastly, transform the literary piece into other forms such as songs and poetry while maintaining its original idea. Now sit back, relax, and enjoy the presentation.
Jesus, you love little children. Help me.
Jesus, love little children. Help me. Help me.
Jesus, you love little children. Please help me.
Why did the star shine in the sky?
Maybe because they were supposed to be the light for others.
Then I like to be a star someday.
Really?
Yes, I am this star and you are on this side.
May I present my daughters, Drizella and
There's a child, I'm sure.
His Grace will read a royal proclamation.
All loyal subjects of His Imperial Majesty are hereby notified by royal proclamation in regard to a certain class. Slip off. It is upon this day decree.
Why, that's my slipper. Well, I like that. It's my slipper.
No, no, no! Cinderella slipper! Cinderella...
I'm sorry.
Jesus, you love little children. Help me.
Pain, I have realized, is beautiful only when one can rise from its depressing power. I have known the people who have become bitter and cynical under the lash of sorrow, and I have known some who have never recovered from anguish. My experience is important only so far as it may help others towards growth. It is worthless to me if it implies vanity. For the first time in my life, the idea of becoming an artist suddenly lost its chance. I would rather remain obscure than be lost in its greatest masterpiece, wrought in my own blood and polished by the greatest love that I was capable of giving. Sonia is, to me, as fairy tale told, or a lyric half lost in fancy, a delicate melody unsung. Had she grown into full womanhood, she might have become an intellectual. For she was deliberate and clear-cut in her language, precise in her reasoning, and keen in sensing nuances, which matured minds about her could not appreciate. Then I should have been forever lost. The glamour of its poetry never felt, even in vague suggestions, and the delicate melodies never perceived. As a friend suggested to me, when grief was most oppressive, you shall always remember her as a child. Poetry in all her magnificence came sailing behind the somber shape of sorrow to show me the way to a more beautiful, more full, and more nearly perfect life. Sonia shall always live in my memory as a child who wonders why the stars shine in the sky and the rain drops from heaven and the grass on the wayside. As a child who finds all things pure and true in her innocent eyes. I shall look in those eyes and see so much confidence and faith when I feel that I am losing my own faith and confidence. I shall draw from my memory of her a child's enthusiasm for life. When my heart is heavy and my eyes dim with age. This is my ideal, to see the whole life with a mind mellowed by age, though a heart forever young, wise, and happy. Experience has indeed taken away more than it has been able to give. It has suddenly occurred to me that the real artist is measured by his ability to utilize misfortune in recreating the soul. I say recreating because art is a recreation of life and experience into that which soothes and ennobles the soul. If a man with any artistic pretensions allows sorrow to destroy him, he is a mere artisan, incapable of producing anything of worth. For the first thing an artist must recreate before true art can be realized is his own soul. God's hand rested upon my shoulders. On previous occasions, the mere suggestions of her death would drive me into imagining a sudden flight to some distant land. I knew not where, for an obscure place where I might forget to die. But that morning, I felt strangely calm. Not the remote shades of thought about running away from my sorrowing family. I was better. I was born to greater realizations of truth, a fuller feeling of freshness. My new philosophy doubtlessly has given me a new sense of values. The things I had held dear in common with other people, I discovered to be a glittering tinsel and hollowness. We find ourselves only after we have lost everything we hold dear in our temporal habitation. We find our soul only after we have divested ourselves of all the flummery of the flesh. For indeed, how can we find our souls when we are wrapped up in matter, so that we cannot give a step, or put our hand, or lift up our eyes? But material things are all about us, following us even to put up our dreams. The climax in this grand ascent of sorrow is the perfection of reality, when in moments of devastating grief, my being seemed consumed. I tried to deceive myself by pretending that it was all a dream, and would wake up to find Sonia's death a mere fancy. The forced illusion would always vanish in a newer, more vivid, more convincing, more permanent, if painful realization would reveal to me that the whole of human experience, this side of eternity, is nothing but a dream, which with death finally comes to an awakening to the only reality intended by the maker of life. I am convinced that life in this temporary habitation is a vague and miserable dream, a nightmare in which the dreamer is driven from one path to another, now frightened by life, now terrified by the thought of death, until one realizes that there is this nightmare, a symbol of reality, that is coming with the dawn and the awakening. This realization of the reality must make a real artist of a man. Broken with pain, the soul dies to be reborn, stronger and more beautiful, enriched and ennobled by sorrow. The artist in the man rises above himself, shorn of all fineries and pettiness, all non-essential. In a word, the artist flows naturally towards the infinite whither all artistic effort must be directed. Thither must I direct my art. Art, to me, had ceased to be artful and artificial. It had become the natural life of the soul. It is the voice of my soul crying out to heaven for a vision of Sonia. pleading for a final communication with her. I shall remove everything about me. When the last word is written, and my hands drop limp and lifeless by my side, I hope to hear the gentle pattern of little feet and the tender touch of little hands around my neck. Sonia.
Are you pretty